An important part of living with a ventilator is taking care of a ventilator circuit. Now, you might ask yourself, what in the world is a ventilator circuit? A ventilator circuit is just another name for this tubing that connects from the ventilator to the person. They can call it a ventilator circuit, a ventilator tubing set, a ventilator air hose. It can go by a number of names, but the official name is just a circuit or a ventilator circuit. So if your respiratory therapist ever asks you about your circuit or your ventilator circuit, please know it's just these air hoses that connect from the ventilator to the patient. There are a couple different circuits. Some of the circuits have two limbs. Those are called a dual limb. For me, I'm just using a single limb. If you can see, there is only one tube that comes from the ventilator down to my heated humidifier. From the heated humidifier, this one tube goes all the way to me. So this is only a single limb circuit. The other thing is this is also called a passive circuit. When you're checking out the different passive single limb tubing circuits you should use, basically, I think there is only one tubing circuit in the United States that is still being made. I'll show you. It will probably look something like this. This is just called a heated inspiratory line. Da, 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 da. Anyways, I think this is the only one still being made. A lot of these have been discontinued due to a number of reasons. One of the big reasons is Philips Respironics is no longer selling any respiratory equipment or anything like that in the United States. So anything made by Philips has been discontinued. And you think, this does not look like this. That is right, because this clear tubing circuit is made by Philips Respironics. This is the Philips Respironics. Da, 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 da. It is a clear tubing circuit. If you have some of these are wonderful. I love these so much. And my sweet respiratory therapist knows how much I love these. So she actually saved all these tubing circuits that she had left in her inventory. She saved them and put them aside for me. So I still have some of these left and I'm using them as long as possible. That brings me to a question you might have. So life with a vent, how often should you change this tubing circuit? I'm going to say, please ask your medical provider because it's going to vary greatly from person to person. Also pediatrics and being an infant varies from being an adult. In general, I recommend people washing this tubing circuit about once a week if you can. This helps prolong the number of times you can use it. But again, you should get in contact with your medical provider to find out how often they want you to change this out. And you say, life with a vent, how often do you change yours out? I don't know. I just use these until they fail because, like I said, they are no longer making them. And these are great. I'm sure these are wonderful circuits. I don't like them very much. They have a lot of resistance in them, and it's just harder to breathe with these circuits than this circuit. This circuit is phenomenal, and I love it, and I'm taking as good of care as I can with it to make sure it lasts as long as possible. I'm washing them about once a week, and I'm just being very careful, and if I notice any leaks or anything, then I will change it. That brings me to another question. You might say, life with a vent, how do you know to change this if you're not changing it on a regular basis? The answer is you will notice your breaths per minute. Your breaths per minute is up here and it'll display on your ventilator. If you notice either yourself or the person you're providing for is getting very short of breath at rest, and short of breath, I'm going to say, is anything about 18 to 20 breaths per minute or higher than that, then that means the person is being short of breath. You should make sure they don't have a mucus clog or anything like that or an infection. But if all that's normal, there's no mucus clog, there's no infection, and you just can't seem to see that there's anything else wrong. For example, all these connections and everything is perfect with the set, but you notice they are breathing very quickly. It is probably the circuit which needs to be changed. Also, if you listen to the circuit, and please make sure you know what your circuit sounds like. Each circuit will have a distinct sound. You should know what it sounds like. And if you notice that sound is getting louder, or it just starts whistling, or there's any other obscure sounds, there's probably something wrong with the circuit. For me, this ventilator exhalation valve is making more noise than it should. And I've just noticed that I am getting very, very short of breath. I'm having a very hard time sleeping because I feel like I just can't get a breath in. And if you look at your numbers on your ventilator, for me, the leak should probably start increasing or varying because this exhalation valve is not functioning properly. But for whatever reason, it does not usually show up on my ventilator settings. So please do not rely on your ventilator settings to tell you how functional your exhalation valve is, because your exhalation valve might be failing and it's not giving you a reading on your ventilator. It might vary slightly, but it just will not be a dramatic change. So I hope that was educational, informational. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please let me know. Either leave them in the comments, leave them on Facebook, Instagram, give me an email. However you want to communicate, please let me know if you have any questions. Thank you so much for joining me. Please remember to like and subscribe down below. Please also remember to comment and share. It really helps my YouTube videos. I hope you have a great day and a wonderful week. Bye.